Casey, and today I've got for you a book haul. So I haven't been on a book buying ban, but I've been trying to purchase fewer books than I usually do. So I've basically only been purchasing books when I'm stressed. So here's the 16 books I purchased in February. So all of these are books that I purchased in the month of February, and I am very excited about it, but it's also entirely too much for me to have purchased in 1 month, but you know, here we are. Since I just kind of have all of these crammed in a box, I'm just gonna start with what's on top, which is what's on my March TBR. So the first book that I got is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. So this is an adult fantasy book that is part of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. So I think this one follows two sisters, one of which is like supposed to be married off to the God King, the other one is not, but at the last minute the father can't get rid of his favorite daughter, the one that was supposed to be married off, and they switch, and I think this follows those two sisters. That's pretty much all I know about this book. Oh, and I know that the magic system has something to do with color. That's like literally about it. I'm very excited that I have this one. I'm gonna read it this month and it's beautiful. I love these editions of the Cosmere books, and this one has purple on it, which makes me extremely happy. The next book I got is Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. So this is a epic sci-fi space opera story. And this is also on my March TBR, and I actually finished it a couple of days ago. But this is about a man named Jim Holden, who is the XO on a ship that finds this derelict ship floating in space and then kind of gets attacked. And the evidence they find there points to certain factions having done this, and so when he tells everyone about the evidence, he accidentally starts a war. The other perspective that we primarily follow in this book is a detective named Miller who is looking for this missing girl, and eventually this investigation and the events surrounding this war leads him and Holden to kind of meet up and for their stories to intertwine. This is the first book and I think a 9-book series, and it's also just like the tallest, like floppiest paperback of all time. It's great. I'm very happy about this purchase. So a lot of times in these videos I haul an entire series at once. I couldn't afford to get all 9 books of The Expanse. They didn't stop me from doing it with 2 other series in this haul. The first one of those is the Tawny Trilogy by Robin Hobb. So this series includes Fool's Errand, The Golden Fool, and Fool's Fate. Nope, not gonna work, not gonna work. Ah, beans. So the Tawny Trilogy is the 3rd series in Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderlings universe. I've read the Farseer Trilogy and the Lifeship Traders Trilogy, so I wanted to go ahead and get the entire Tawny Trilogy and get ready to start reading it. So obviously this is the 3rd trilogy, so I can't really explain what this might be about, but the first series follows a boy named Fitz, who is the bastard son of the prince-in-waiting Prince Chivalry. He's essentially dropped off on the palace doorstep, after which Prince Chivalry abdicates the throne and moves to the countryside in shame. And the Farseer Trilogy follows Fitz as he's growing up and being trained by the royal family to become an assassin as he grows up in Buckkeep. The Lifeship Traders series focuses on a trader family in Bingtown, and then this series gets back to Fitz's story, and I believe we're reading from his perspective again as he and the Fool go on some sort of adventure. I think this has to do with one of the characters from the Farseer Trilogy's child going missing, and Fitz gets asked to help go find it. I'm honestly not sure, and the backs of these editions tend to spoil things for like halfway through the book, so I'm not gonna read them. But I'm very excited to read these. Also, I love these editions of all of the Realm of the Elderlings books. They're a little bit hard to find, so I just get like used copies, and honestly the usedness of them kind of matches the way that the covers look, and I think these look beautiful and they all look really good together up on this shelf. Although I am out of space now, so. And while we're talking about series, we might as well talk about the other entire series that I bought, which is the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. I bought all 5 of these. So the Murderbot Diaries is a series of novellas and 1 novel that follows a security unit named Murderbot that has hacked its governor module and essentially gained free will, and it follows it as it tries to unravel the mystery of its past. But the entries in the series include All Systems Red, Artificial Condition, Rogue Protocol, Exit Strategy, and then the full-length novel, Network Effect. So I started reading this series sometime last year, and I read All Systems Red. I read it on ebook, and I think I gave it 3 stars overall. And then last month or the month before, I read Artificial Condition, and I got the physical book from my library, and I really enjoyed that reading experience more, and I think I gave that one 4 stars. And I've really wanted to continue the series ever since, but my library did not have any other book in the series. Like, they literally just had book 2. And so I was like, oh no, I guess I'll have to get them. And instead of just getting the 3rd one and moving on with my life, I bought all of them because I can't be stopped. I also believe there's a 6th book coming out this year. I think it is another novella, and I think it's called Fugitive Telemetry. But I think this series is only going to get better. I've heard some people say that the novel is not as good as some of the novellas and that it works better in the short form, but I really wanted to go ahead and get the whole series. Plus, I really love getting novellas in these hardbacks. I think they are so cute and they're gonna look really good on my sci-fi shelves, and I'm just really happy about getting all of these books. The next book I got is actually a manga collection, and that is Orange by Ichigo Takano. And this was the impulse buy that kicked off all of these books that I got. Essentially, I think I was watching some people do some reading sprints and somebody mentioned that they loved this manga, and I knew I wanted to get more into manga, and I found it online for pretty cheap, so I bought it. And as soon as I bought this one, it was like the floodgates opened and I bought everything else in this haul in like the next 2 weeks. So for a book that started this entire cascade, I'm not gonna lie, I barely know what it's about. So I think this is about a girl who is in the 11th grade who gets a letter from herself from 10 years in the future saying that this boy who just was transferred into her class is in danger and that she needs to protect him. And I think she starts hanging out with this boy and predictions from those letters starts coming true. And I think this is a rom-com with a weird sci-fi element, and I don't know, it just sounds really good. The cover is like so pretty and so cute, and I'm just very excited to get more into some manga series because right now the only 2 manga series I have are ones that I've seen the anime for. And I don't even have like that many volumes of each. So if you have manga recommendations for me, I'm here for it. The next book I bought was Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. But Annihilation is a sci-fi novella about this area called Area X that's been shut off for years because I think the plants in it are whack. What are the plants whack? So Area X is an area that nature has reclaimed from human civilization, and I think all of the expeditions into this Area X have ended in some kind of tragedy, and so this follows another expedition team as they are attempting to figure out what's going on in Area X. And I think this is like a sci-fi vaguely horror kind of book. I know that it's supposed to be super strange, and a lot of people say that they have a lot of questions and like they don't totally understand what's going on, and that this ends pretty open-ended, which I'm interested to see if I like, because I don't read a huge amount of like super weird books, but that does sound like something I would be into. I also know that there are 2 more books in this series, the Southern Reach Trilogy, I think it's called, so I'm gonna try to get my hands on those if I like this one. But I just think this is such a pretty cover. And again, I've been wanting to get more into sci-fi, and this seems like one that a lot of people liked, and I was just really intrigued by, and oh my god, I just noticed this little end paper. This end page? It's so pretty! So the next book that I got is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. So this is one that I've heard so many people talk about and so many people hype up. This is, I think, a sci-fi or dystopian series that is set in a world that is broken up into different like class systems, and the lowest class, the Reds, I think work on building or mining or something like that to allow for people to colonize Mars, I think. And I think what happens is they start to realize that Mars has been colonized for a long time and that they've actually been being used as slave labor, and I think this follows a revolution. I think. All of that could be wrong, but that's what I think happens. But this is the first book in that series, and I've heard a lot of people really love this, and I, again, want to get into more sci-fi, and I've been really intrigued by this series. I think there are 5 books in the series that are out, and I think the 6th one comes out this year. I'm not sure if the 6th book is supposed to be the final book, but I think that it is. And honestly, this book was like significantly shorter than I was expecting. I don't know why, but based on that synopsis and the kinds of books I usually read, I was expecting to get like a 500-page chonker. This is, I think, under 400 pages. The next book I got is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. It came out in 2020 that I know was on a ton of people's best book of the year list, and it's one that has intrigued me ever since. I believe this follows our main character who finds herself in this magical library, essentially, that allows her to read a book that takes her back to if she had made a different decision or if she'd done things differently and like different versions of her life. And this kind of lets her look back on the ways things could have gone throughout her life. And I think it is something that like I could really benefit from reading right now, just kind of this discussion of like the different paths people can take and how to ultimately be happy with what you have. I guess, I don't know. I mean, I haven't read it yet, so I don't know what the overall message is, but this sounds like a very literary, fantastical kind of book, and I really enjoy those, and I haven't read one in a while, so I am very excited to get to this book. The next book I got was Gods of Jade and Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, I barely know what this book is about. I believe it is Mayan fantasy in the Jazz Age. That's it. That's all I knew. Pulled the trigger, bought it. So excited. Ooh, there's Death Gods. This one also came out last year and I've heard a lot of great things about it, but I also know that I haven't seen this one hyped up as much as some of the other fantasy books that came out last year, but everyone who has read this has absolutely loved it. This is another one that's shorter than I was expecting. I think it's 330 pages. It's way shorter than I thought it was going to be, but the cover is absolutely stunning. I'm very excited, and this seems like one I'm really going to enjoy, and I'm happy I have my hands on it. And the last book I got for this haul is The Song of Achilles by Matlin Miller. So I read Circe by Matlin Miller last year, I think, and I really liked it, but I think I'm gonna like this one even more. So this is a retelling of the Trojan War that focuses specifically on Achilles and his relationship with Patroclus, and I've heard that this has a very intriguing romance element to it. I've heard this makes people cry. So many people absolutely love this story, and it's one I've been wanting to get for a long time. And unlike the other two, this was longer than I was expecting. So many people absolutely adore this book, and it sounds like something that would be right up my alley. And I thought Matlin Miller's writing style was absolutely gorgeous in Circe, and I would love to see what she does with this plot, which I'm slightly more intrigued by. There's also like illustrations of characters in the back, and I'm very happy about that. But I'm expecting this book to be beautiful and really sad, and if I cry while reading this book, I'm gonna count it as a win. Oh, this is too many. Oh, this is too many. I can't. So this, oh my god, what have I done? So this is all of the books that I hauled since the beginning of the year. And mostly just in February. So if you've read any of these, I would love to hear your thoughts about them. I'm so excited to get to these. So please chat with me down below and help me figure out how the hell I'm gonna prioritize any of this. But I think that's all I've got for you guys today. If you want to keep up with what I'm reading, I have a link to my Goodreads down in the description below. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time.